Have you ever dreamed of traveling through the back roads and the small towns of the 6 New England states? Well, if so, this video is going to be for you. We are going to start in Foxborough, Massachusetts, near the home of the 6-time Super Bowl champion New England Patriots, and then work our way through Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Vermont, Maine, and New Hampshire. Along the way, we will stop at some local motorcycle hangouts and travel some of the best roads in the Northeast. During this video, I will break everything down so you can take this ride yourself, and I will have the GPX files available to purchase on my website for just $1 per day. Now, what is the best time of the year to go? Well, in New England, weather is generally great between mid-May and October. But beware that traveling into Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine before mid-June can be unpredictable. It is always possible that you may find colder temps in the 50s or even 40s and some rain, but by that time you should be at least snow-free. Likewise, in later September and October, temperatures can dip into the 50s and even 40s. The first week in October is prime time for leaf peeping, but can vary from year to year. Columbus Day weekend is typically the big weekend for viewing the amazing fall colors, but it is also a very busy time. Prices will jump dramatically and the roads can be very crowded. I generally plan a trip during the first week in October, midweek, to beat the crowds. The leaves may not be at peak, but they are still beautiful, and the lack of traffic makes up for it. With all the talk of fall, late spring and summer are still great times to visit the region. But whenever you come, still remember, when traveling up in the Northeast, be prepared for all kinds of weather. Now, there are a couple of big events held in New England each year. During the last week of May and sometimes early June, Lake George, New York is the home of the annual Americade Rally. Then, during the second week of June, the Laconia Bike Rally invades the streets of Laconia, New Hampshire. During both of these events, hotels and bike rental prices will, of course, be impacted. These are great events to attend, but be aware and book early if you plan to go. We will start our New England motorcycle adventure in Foxborough, Massachusetts at Mom's South. They are an independent Eagle Rider dealer with Indian, Triumph, and Ducati motorcycles available for rent. As I just mentioned earlier, the two rallies may impact pricing and availability of rental bikes. Mom's is just down the street from Patriot Place, and there are several options for hotels and restaurants. Leaving Foxborough, we will make our way through southern Massachusetts and into Rhode Island. This area of New England is densely populated, but there are still some great roads to ride. One of the highlights of the day will be Log Road, which is a fun, twisty road through a beautiful Rhode Island neighborhood. So remember to have fun, but also be respectful. From there, we will make our way down into Connecticut along the Scituate Reservoir and on to scenic Route 49. We will make a quick stop at the Econk Hill Turkey Farm for a restroom break. They have a porta potty outside, and you can also grab a cup of coffee or a great cider donut. But remember, we are going to stop for lunch in about another hour. The turkey farm doesn't open until 11, so that's about 2 hours from Mom's, so plan on leaving at 9 or 9:30. Now, with all of these places, you should, of course, check and see if they're going to be open, because hours, of course, can vary. After enjoying Route 49, we will make our way over to Connecticut 169, which is one of the best motorcycle roads in the area, traveling through small towns, past farms, and beautiful rock walls. For lunch, we will stop in Pomfret at the Vanilla Bean. The Bean, as it is known to locals, is one of the area's favorite motorcycle hangouts during the weekend riding season. After lunch, we will again take some back roads to the town of Sturbridge, Massachusetts. Last time I led this ride, we stayed at the Sturbridge Host Hotel and Conference Center. It is not a fancy place, but it has a couple of restaurants on site and others within walking distance, including some of the best barbecue in the region at BT's Smokehouse. If you like seafood, Sturbridge Seafood is a great choice. On day 2, we will leave Sturbridge and make our way across Massachusetts on routes 122 and 2, which is also known as the Mohawk Trail. We will stop in Irving, Massachusetts at the Freight House Antiques, which is a cool place just to browse. They also have great homemade baked goods and coffee. Bathrooms are again at a porta potty. Again, make sure this is open when you go. From Irving, we will take small back roads to Route 116, which leads to Ashfield, Massachusetts. This is a well-known motorcycle road, and it is fun and twisty. Just keep your speed and control going through the small towns. Another stop along this route will be in Shelburne Falls, Massachusetts, to visit the Bridge of Flowers. We will end the day on a great motorcycle road, 8A, which leads to Vermont 100 and our destination for the day, West Dover, Vermont. In West Dover, there are several small inns available, including the Mountaineer Inn, Big Bear's Lodge, the Kitsoff Inn, and the Grey Ghost Inn. Food is available at the local Snow Mountain Market, the Dover Bar and Grill, the Valley View Saloon, and 1846 Inn and Tavern, which is more upscale. If you want some great baked goods with your coffee, check out Sticky Fingers Bakery. But again, make sure that they're open. Their hours can vary. On day 3, we are going to take some of the best rides in Vermont, including Route 100 and 3 of the Vermont Gaps, routes 73, 125, and 17, before ending in Burlington, Vermont. For lunch, we will stop at Rosie's Diner in Middlebury. If you dare, you can stop at the Vermont Country Store in Weston, Vermont, about an hour into your day. But be warned, it is easy to spend quite some time there, and it can be crowded on weekends or if it rains and everybody has nothing else to do. Now in Burlington, there are several hotels to choose from, but I typically stay at the Holiday Inn Express, South Burlington. There is a nice Italian restaurant right next door called Pulcinella's. And last time I was there, I had a great seafood risotto. Day 4 of the trip is going to be a more relaxed day. We'll stay over an extra night in Burlington, and after a relaxed breakfast at the hotel, or you might venture into Burlington proper, then you're going to jump on your bikes and take a leisurely ride over Grand Isle, which is in the middle of Lake Champlain. Now that's what this is all about. This ride is just about relaxing and taking in beautiful views of the lake. And if you're lucky, maybe you'll get to spot Champy. Food is available in St. Albans, and there's a mobile station and store at the junction of US 2 and 78. Day 5 will be a full day of traveling the beautiful roads of Vermont and New Hampshire. Leaving Burlington, we will jump on Interstate 89 for a few miles, taking us to Vermont 100. Now this will take us by the Ben & Jerry's factory, so if you want ice cream, this is the place to stop. Now, you could even do this factory tour as an alternative to riding over Grand Isle or an additional excursion. Off of Route 100, we are going to take Vermont 108 up through the tight turns of Smuggler's Notch. Now, big rigs have been known to get stuck in here. After the notch, we can make our way over to Route 302 and 118, and then eventually Route 112, which is also known as the Kancamagus Highway, a favorite among local riders. Now, getting off the Kank, we will take Bear Notch Road back to 302 and into North Conway. Now, good places to stop would be in Lincoln, New Hampshire, or North Conway, New Hampshire. Both can get crowded on the weekends or near Leaf peeping season. We will end our day in Gorham, New Hampshire at the Town and Country Inn. There are other places to stay in Gorham, but the Town and Country has a restaurant and bar on site. Last time we were there, the prime rib was to die for. As you are heading into Gorham, you will pass the Mount Washington Auto Road, which, if open and the weather is good, is a great ride going to the top. This is a private road, and therefore they charge a fee of $36 for a motorcycle or auto. It is, however, worth it as far as I'm concerned. It is about a 30-minute drive to the top, and then, of course, 30 minutes or so coming down. Use low gear and save your brakes. Another option would be to stay over in Gorham for an extra night and then ride up the next day. You could even then go through Hurricane Mountain Road and Maine 113, making a loop back into Gorham. I'll add that as an extra GPX file just in case you want to give it a try. From Gorham, we are going to ride up to the mountain town of Rangeley, Maine. We will travel the beautiful roads of routes 16 and 17, stopping in Errol, Maine for a potty break and maybe some fuel. At the intersections of Route 16 and 17, we're going to head south and stop at the Rangeley Lake Overlook, the Height of the Land, and Coos Canyon. Eventually, we'll head back into Rangeley on Maine Route 4. Now, there's an interesting roadside attraction called the Light of the World Cross. This sculpture is best viewed from the air, but it is worth stopping and seeing even if you don't have a drone. It is a testament to the dedication of the man who built it. Leaving Rangeley, we are going to make our way across Maine towards Bar Harbor, which will be our stop for the night. Now, an interesting stop along the way is Fort Knox and the Penobscot Narrows Bridge Observatory. Fort Knox is a decommissioned facility established in 1844 to protect the Penobscot River Valley. Now, along with the fort, you can take the elevator ride to the top of the Penobscot Narrows Observatory, which stands at more than 420 feet and offers a breathtaking 360-degree view of the bay. Now, of course, there are many places to stay in Bar Harbor, and during the busy season, it gets pretty pricey with the national park close by. So when visiting, I generally stay at the Best Western Acadia Park Inn just outside of town, which is a quick ride from Mainly Meats Barbecue or the Bar Harbor Lobster Pond. If you're going to ride all the way to Bar Harbor, you might as well go to Acadia National Park, and that's what I suggest for day 8. Stay over at the Best Western or whatever hotel you choose, and then ride up Cadillac Mountain, which is the first place to see the sunrise on the East Coast, and then ride through the park loop, stopping and seeing everything Acadia has to offer. The last time I was there, Acadia doesn't require reservations to get into the park itself. However, it does require reservations to head up Cadillac Mountain. You have to get a specific time slot. So again, check ahead and make sure you know what's going on at this national park. After you're done with the national park, you can of course go into Bar Harbor itself and spend some time walking around the downtown area, where there are plenty of things to see and places to eat. I know my wife loves to go in all of the little knick-knack shops while I wait outside and people watch. On day 9, we need to start heading for home, but first we're going to visit York, Maine, and the beautiful coastline. Along the way, we're going to stop and see the Pimmockwood Point Lighthouse before making our way back to I-95 to get around Portland. Now, at the lighthouse, they do require payment to park, so just be aware. Now let me caution you that Route I-95 through Maine is a toll road, so if you don't have an Easy Pass transponder, they will, of course, bill you. They'll take a picture of your license plate. Now, also, make sure that during this section you turn off that avoid toll road setting on your GPS. Otherwise, you're going to get frustrated as it keeps trying to exit you off of the highway. Ask me how I know. We will exit I-95 at Biddeford and travel into Kennebunkport along the Maine coastline. Downtown Kennebunkport is the cool place to window shop and, of course, pick up a lobster roll or an ice cream. As with other seaside towns, it can get busy during the summer and especially the weekends. From there, we will head towards Algonquin and the beautiful Shore Road, making our way into York. Our stop for the night is the Anchorage Inn, which is right across the street from the beach, and the Sun and Surf restaurant, which last time we were there was just absolutely awesome. On day 10, it's finally time to head home. So we're going to jump on I-95 and then I-495 for about an hour before exiting and taking back roads back to Mom's in Foxborough, Massachusetts. There you can turn in your rental bike, have some dinner, and get ready to head home, wherever that may be. Now, let me tell you, this is a great trip, and everyone who has taken it has absolutely loved it. We get to visit every New England state and ride some beautiful roads and, of course, see the wonderful Northeast. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, the GPX files and a written itinerary are available for download at my website, which is livingofftheslab.com, and all I'm asking is just $1 per GPX file. And if you don't have the right gear for riding up here in New England, well, you can check out AEROSTICH by using the link in the description of this video. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and of course, ride safe and keep squeezing your lemon.